Hey thinkers, today we're going to be talking about Dr. Braxton Hunter's book, Core Facts. Now this is the second edition, and today I'm going to give you a ton of reasons why I think you should get this book, why I think it's one of the best apologetic books of our time. Let's get started. Let me first say, in full disclosure, Dr. Hunter is both a dear friend of mine and the president of the college where I attended. Now, I did receive this book for free. However, all of the thoughts are mine. Having said that, let's get started. So this is not the first edition. Now, while I haven't read that version, I gotta tell you, this edition is incredible. So first question, who is this book for? Well, I think it's for everybody, all Christians, whether you're brand new at apologetics or a seasoned veteran, because I think you can glean so much from it. Who might benefit from this book? Well, to be honest with you, everyone from a novice apologist to an intermediate level will gain tons of insight, not just material itself, but a methodology to use it. And I think that is probably one of the most beneficial things of the book. In addition to that, even an advanced apologist who may have tons of information will glean a lot because they'll understand how to apply the information or organize it in their mind in order to use it, particularly in a debate setting. With all of its benefits and advanced features, I would argue if you're going to use apologetics in a sort of very conversational 1-minute setting like an elevator conversation, or you've got a quick break at work, somebody's on a cigarette break or whatever, and you're trying to talk to them, the book itself may not really help with that. These are going to be longer conversations. However, that doesn't mean it can't be used, because again, if that's an employee, somebody I'm working with, even though I might have only 1 minute for that cigarette break that they're on, or coffee break, or whatever it is, they're going to have a lot of those. They might have 2 or 3 throughout the day, and if they're really interested in asking questions, the approach can still be used over time. So it can be very beneficial. And if this is somebody I'm speaking to for just 1 minute, I've never met, somehow I have an opportunity to talk to them about Christ, the approach that Dr. Hunter teaches in this book may not be most effective for that situation. Doesn't mean it can't be applied. I recently brought this issue up to Dr. Hunter, and he said it will be addressed in an accompanying workbook. The approach is a classical apologetics approach. However, unlike more advanced textbooks from, say, Dr. William Lane Craig, this book takes a novel approach in giving you a very specific way to memorize these facts in order by spelling out core facts. Each letter represents one of the chapters of the book. Now, the CORE represents a very classical approach of apologetics, that being starting with the existence of God, why is there something rather than nothing, the argument from morals, morality, so on and so forth. So you have these classical approaches there. And then the facts section deals with the resurrection and Jesus Christ specifically. This is very similar to Dr. William Lane Craig's arguments, but unlike those, this is a brilliant way to memorize all of that data and see systematically how you're going to go through it. It is an incredible approach. Hey, before we go any further, hit that like button down below and be sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Now, as far as the writing style, Dr. Hunter to me comes across as somewhere between a C.S. Lewis and a Greg Koukl. The style is very easy to read, or if you have the audiobook to listen to, you can really get an idea of what he means from a lot of great examples he uses. Now, this is somewhere in between a popular level writing and an academic level. The beautiful thing about his style is that even with the tons of data that he gives, he makes it very approachable and easy to understand. And he uses a device to do this. So this device I'm talking about is something Dr. Hunter calls core moments. Now these core moments, in my opinion, are brilliant because they take more complex material and break it down in a simple to understand idea. They might also prep the reader or listener for what is about to come, reassuring them that even though this is complicated, here's the simple way to understand it. These moments are brilliant. I absolutely love them. So how is this book intended to be used? Well, first of all, I think it would really shine in a debate setting, somewhere where whether you're debating online, via Skype, or on a formal stage, you're really going to have an awesome methodology for memorizing all of this information and approaching the debate in a very systematic way. In addition, this material or methodology can be used to refute specific attacks against the different arguments for God's existence or the resurrection. It's brilliant in that sense because once you have this material memorized, you are going to have a way to systematize all of this information in your mind in order to recall those facts quickly and respond to them. So I want to hear what your favorite methodology of apologetics is. Let me know down in the comments below. The only weakness I can see right now is time constraints. If I only had 1 minute to talk to somebody, I might not use this methodology because it's just too long. But again, doesn't mean I couldn't use a part of it. In other words, somebody says to me, well, I don't believe in God because I don't think there's enough data. I can go, oh my goodness, let me tell you, there's this argument, this argument, this argument, this argument. In other words, COREFACTS. And they may go, oh really? Yeah, if you don't mind, I'll give you my number or email and I'd love to talk to you about this further. Now, one other section in the book that I think is absolutely brilliant is Dr. Hunter's section on common objections. In other words, he gives you information based on common objections to these different arguments. So for the novice apologist, they can both understand what to expect and how to respond. Now, I am not a big fan of saying if person says A, I say B, if they say C, I say D, because what that tends to do is cause us to shut off our ears and not pay attention to them, not listen. We're just anticipating and responding right away. The book doesn't encourage this, and I really appreciate that, but for the novice apologist, the nice thing is at least they understand what they can expect as an objection and what would be a rational response. So let me just say, I think this book is incredible if you haven't gotten that idea already, because Dr. Hunter's style of writing is so easy to follow and understand. He gives copious amounts of examples, tons of helpful data and quotes from academics and fellow apologists, and I really cannot recommend this book highly enough. Because of Dr. Hunter's methodology, the book is both easy to understand as well as easy to remember due to his core facts methodology. As I mentioned earlier, the core moments are quite brilliant. And the nice thing for a new apologist or new Christian is you don't have to be afraid of not knowing enough when you start reading this book. Dr. Hunter is going to take you from point A all the way to point Z, guide you through the entire process, and you don't have to worry if you have no prior knowledge. Do not be discouraged if when using this material or other apologetic material, you find your objector just isn't convinced. You have to remember, people are all different. Different things convince them, and it's going to be up to them. Don't get angry with them or frustrated. They just need time. While there are a handful of people that are just patently dishonest, they want to believe whatever it is they want to believe, and they're going to use the statement, well, there's just not enough evidence, or there's no evidence that will convince me. That's okay. Let them be. Let them have their beliefs. You cannot help everybody. If they don't want to accept Christ as their Savior, they're not going to accept. The point is to help those that do want to believe. Remember what 1 Peter says, be ready always to give an answer. In other words, somebody asks, you answer. The objective is not to drag somebody into heaven kicking and screaming. So I hope this has been helpful. Before you go, please, if you've enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. We have so many viewers that don't subscribe. Please do. In addition, check out the links below. There is a ton of savings you can get from Logos Bible software right now, and I'm going to include a link to a free book for you, absolutely free from Logos. So if you have a Logos Bible software account, you can use that. And I think with that link, you also get a few books that are like 99 cents. Why not, right? It does help our ministry tremendously. If you want to help out more, check out the Patreon links down below as well. Become a member. Not only does your donation help us to further share the gospel and make videos like this, but you get tons of benefits like actual instruction, not just the next video that's going to come out early. So I hope this has been a blessing to y'all. We love you. Take care. God bless.